Jagrada. Jai Masters. Lao Tzu in the Tao said something very, very beautiful, which really captures the essence of the Tao. He said, you see the ocean, and you see a whole lot of water. I see the ocean, and I see an empty bin that the water fell into. That is what's going on with spirituality. That is as deep as it comes. And he went further by saying, how much work does it have to do to get the water? Nothing. How much work does it have to do to keep the water? Nothing. Mount Everest, the highest mountains on the earth, can't hold on to the water. It goes down into the ocean. No matter what the mountain does, its nature is to shed water. No matter what the ocean does, its nature is to collect water. So the Tao, he talks about emptiness. I don't want to teach you the Tao, but we're going to talk around it in terms of your spiritual path. So is spirituality a mountain, something you climb, something you get, something you reach for, something you struggle for? Or is spirituality the act of emptying so that all that is naturally falls in? So exactly like that ocean bed, by the way, in Christ's parables, he said it as follows, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. He who is last shall be first. Doesn't mean somebody who's weak, who's nothing. It means somebody who's empty. It means somebody who's not making a mountain of themselves. Somebody who's hollow. In the Buddhist term, somebody who's void, empty. This emptiness is fullness. Would you say the ocean was empty? Or the ocean's full? Obviously you see it as full. But I'm telling you, in a Taoist, Zen, spiritual sense, it is empty. The ocean is the empty bed. The water is just what filled it naturally and will always fill it naturally. The ocean needs to do nothing. That's what you want to become. You want to become empty. Real spirituality is about emptiness, just like the Buddhists teach. Empty. The empty mind, the empty bell. That's very Zen. Christ also said, you must die to be reborn. You must become empty in order to become full. So what does it mean, in the deepest sense, that's what we're talking about, to become empty? Well, in order to become empty, you have to understand what you're full of. What am I full of? If my natural state is this hollow, is this empty, is this deep, that the whole universe can fit in or fall into, what am I full of? You're full of the following. Events have happened to you. That's natural. The world is a happening place. Things unfold in front of you. Things unfold everywhere. Your consciousness is standing in a given place. Therefore, what is comes into the ocean bed of your consciousness. I want you to see your consciousness as the ocean bed. So what is comes in. You know, you don't go out. Just like the ocean bed goes nowhere, does it? It doesn't have to go anywhere to collect the water. You don't even look outside. You don't even hear outside. What is outside comes into you. Do you know that? Your eyes, your ears, your nose, your touch, these are senses. They pick up the vibrations of the physical plane, turn it into codified messages, almost like digitized it, send it up your nervous wires, and it renders within your mind. You in there receive it when it comes in. You don't go out here. Right now, you're not looking at me. I'm getting in there to you. Do you know that's the truth? Go ask any scientist, any medical person, anything. All right? It is light rays bouncing off of your molecules, the molecules of your body and of the wall and of the picture, and they bounce off because they can't make it through. If they make it through, you don't see anything. That's what air is, right? It is thin enough, unbound enough, open enough, right, to where the light goes right through, so you don't see it. But the light doesn't go through you, and the light doesn't go through the picture, and the light doesn't go through the wall, all right? It bounces off. When it bounces off, your optical sensors, light-sensitive part of your eye receives it and passes the message back, and it renders within your mind. And you are sitting inside, the consciousness is sitting inside, receiving this, experiencing this. Your entire life is lived inside. Science helps you with spirituality. Literally, your entire life, you've just sat in there experiencing what's coming in from outside. Period. All right? So this is your experience. You are the empty. You are the void. It's all coming in. Well, that's very beautiful. So like the water pulls into the ocean, this world of sense pours into you. It pours in and it falls in. Pours in and it falls in. There's a line in the Bhagavad Gita which says the following: a great being, a great soul, an enlightened one, just as the waters and streams of the earth pour into the ocean and leave it as it found it, it doesn't overflow, it doesn't overstep its bounds, so the world of sense pours into the yogi and leaves him as it found him, at peace, serene, content. So even an ancient holy scripture says the world is coming into you. You are not going out to it. Okay? And science agrees. So it comes in, it pours into you. So what's the problem with that? What's the problem with all the rivers and streams pouring into the ocean? It makes it fresh. It fills it. It makes it whole. It's beautiful. It makes it complete. So what's wrong with the world of sense pouring in to your consciousness so that it comes in and fills you? I've taught you, usually it's the end of my talks, what your life is about are the experiences you are having. The world comes in. Every bit of it that comes in is a new experience to you. There's something different about it. Somebody's taller, somebody's shorter, somebody's darker, somebody's lighter, somebody's nice, somebody's mean, something's going one way, something's going another way. There's all these experiences that take place every single moment. There's an experience unfolding in front of you that comes in to feed you. It's food. It comes in, it pours in, just exactly as the waters of the rivers and streams are feeding the ocean. They are making it whole, they are refreshing it, they're making it complete, they're making it greater. So the world of sense comes into you, pours into you, teaches you, makes you whole, fills you. That is the entire purpose of your experience. You don't have to do anything for the world of sense to come into you. You have to pedal in there? You have to pay somebody? No. Wherever you are, there is creation. There is something unfolding. That which is unfolding comes in, and I'm telling you, just as the ocean is greater for every drop of water that pours into it, you are greater for every single experience, with no exception. Every single experience that you happen to be standing in front of, so that it comes in through your senses, is feeding you, is making you a wholer person. If you never saw a snake, you're not as complete a person as if you had seen a snake. Why? Because you never saw a snake. I don't care if you like snakes or not, to at least understand that. Okay? You are greater because of every single thing you experience. By definition, because you experienced it. Okay? Well, we'll go to the extreme. Take somebody who's never experienced anything. You want to go hiking with them? You want to go out boating? You want to drive? Let them drive? You're not going to get in the car with them. You're not going to get in a boat with them. You're not going to go hiking with them. They don't know squat. They have not experienced anything. Extrapolate that to what I told you, which is every single experience you have makes you a greater being. There are no good experiences. There are no bad experiences. There are right experiences. There are wrong experiences. There are just these experiences that are unfolding in front of you, and you are honored and graced that you get to experience them so that you're greater the next moment than you were the moment before. Every single moment of your life, you're a greater being. Why? Because you had the experience that you had the moment before. You hadn't had it yet. People have trouble with this, but it's the truth. Isn't it the truth? If you got married and never got divorced, and you got married and got divorced 3 days later and nullified the whole thing, right? Who's better off? There's no answer. You got to experience what it's like to have a wonderful marriage and a beautiful relationship. You got to experience what it's like to have heartbreak and to go through this thing so that you experience this unique thing where hey, I was married for 3 days. You go to New York, you had a wonderful time. You got mugged. You didn't get hurt, but you got mugged. Okay? Guess who's got better stories? I'm just telling you, every single experience you have is a gift. It comes in through your senses. Why? Why is it coming through my senses? Because it's there. What's happening in front of you has nothing to do with you. It would be happening anyways if you weren't there. He'd be mugging somebody. The schnook would have married somebody and could stay there for 3 days, all right, before he showed his colors. What is happening is the world is unfolding. You've got that. The world is unfolding. It's been unfolding forever, for 13.8 billion years. It is unfolding everywhere. There's not a single spot in creation that the world doesn't exist, is there? Right? On Mars and Saturn, the farthest galaxies. So every moment, every spot in creation has something going on. You just happen to be standing in front of the spot that has that going on. If you think it's special, just look to the right. There's something totally different going on. Look to the left. Totally different thing going on. So therefore, it has nothing to do with you. What is happening in front of you has nothing to do with you. It just happens to be where you're standing at that moment. If you were standing someplace else, then something else would be going on. There is absolutely nothing special about what is going on in front of you. It is the same as what's going on everywhere. What's going on? That's what it is, right? Whatever is going on is what's going on. Every single place is experiencing something, but you're not there. Your consciousness is experiencing the light that is bouncing off what's happening and is coming through your senses and is feeding your soul. It is feeding you because of the experience you're having. If you're a high being, you would just say thank you every single moment of your life. It's like winning the lottery. Every moment. Wow, I got to experience that. I told you, if somebody is standing in front of you yelling at you, they are not yelling at you. You just happen to be standing in a place where somebody is yelling. They'd probably be yelling anyways. Okay? Something is making them yell. A whole lot of things are making them yell, right or wrong. Everything had to happen the way mommy and daddy and genetics. Oh my God, I don't want to get into it, right? All the formative years and then what their first wife did and the second and the third one and the fourth one too. And plus they just lost their job and so on. And now you're standing there and you went boo and they were they're yelling. Okay? They're not yelling at you. It's not personal. How have I told you? Nothing is personal. It's just what is going on where you happen to be standing. So basically you come to the point where you understand it has nothing to do with me. It's happening in every single spot of every part of creation. There's an event going on. I am standing in one place. It just happens to be where I'm standing. And so my senses pick up what's happening there. Oh, well, how I would love for you to be able to live your life like that. Because it's the truth. That's what it means. Equanimity is yoga. That's what it means. The world of sense pours in, but leaves the yogi as it found him, at peace, serene, content. It has nothing to do with me. I'm not renouncing it. For me to renounce it has to have something to do with me. I have to say, I don't like that, and that's not right, and it's not good, and I don't have anything to do with that. You have to push it away. Well, if you cling to it or push it away, if you want it or if you don't want it, it has something to do with you. If I sit there and say, I don't want you sitting there, then I made it have something to do with me. I made up what I want, and it's not matching. All right? But in truth, it has nothing to do with me. So now you understand what empty means. Empty means not doing that. The world is unfolding. It is unfolding according to the forces that are making it to unfold the way it is. And those forces have been going on for 13.8 billion years. I am here. It is coming in. Wow. There. That's the state. That's be here now. That's what it means to be in the Tao. To come in harmony with the moment of creation that is unfolding, to be completely at one. That's when subject and object, seer and the seen, experiencer and the experience merge. So why am I not there? It is happening everywhere. My consciousness is here. The light is bouncing off the events that are unfolding. They are coming in. They are rendering on my mind. So I guess I'm enlightened. No, you're not enlightened. Why? Because there's something else going on in there. What? What else could be going on in there? I don't want to tell you. It's scary. It's like a house of horrors. Instead of it just being receptive to the events that are unfolding in reality, God's creation, if you will, this is the moment that is. This is what exists. It's coming in. And I'm experiencing it. Thank you. It's making me wholer. No matter what's happening to me, it's an experience that now I'm a greater being because it happened. So I just keep receiving, and I can participate in it. If it's flowing this way, I work with it. If it's going that way, I work with it. I'm just open, receiving, and that's not what happens. So what happens? There's something else in there, and that's the whole problem. And when I talk about spirituality, it's always about losing something, about emptying. This is what it is. What's in there? What's in there? You have created in your mind hopes, dreams, views, opinions, concepts, likes, dislikes, preferences, wants, not wants, haven't you? You got a few of those? All right. I don't see them out here. Point to your dreams, point to your wants, point to your likes, point to your concepts, point to your views. They don't exist out here. So you made it up. You just made this stuff up in your head. By the time I get to 23, I want to have had a child, but I want it to be a boy because I want the boy to be older than... You're thinking this when you're 12. You're making stuff up inside your head. Does anybody do that or just me? All right? And you've been doing it your whole life. And you just have these thoughts where you make up an alternate reality. Why is it an alternate reality? Because it's not reality. It's just thoughts. They're just thoughts you make up in your mind. And you decide this is what I like and this is what I don't like. Do you understand that like and dislike are the most overrated things in all of creation? There is a creation going on. It's been going on for 13.8 billion years. It's amazing. You're living in a universe in which after the Big Bang, there was just clouds and clouds of thick hydrogen gas. Nothing got added. It made itself into this. These are the same atoms. It's the same quantum field, the same subatomic particles that made the original hydrogen atoms, mushed together and made helium and mushed together, right? Fusion did all that kind of stuff and made all the different elements. Then the stars exploded. And basically your nose used to be inside of a star somewhere. Everything. So this is what made creation. It's unbelievable. It's perfect. It's awesome. It's, God, what grade do you give it? It's crazy. And instead of appreciating it, learning from it, becoming one with it, what we have done is developed in our mind what we want it to be. We look at it and say, no, I don't want it to be that way. I want it to be this way. And things happened before it. I didn't want them to happen. How about you? Weren't the things that happened before you didn't want it to happen? Who are you that gets to say that? Everything's made out of creation. Everything's awesome. It's unbelievable. But you gave yourself the right to create within your beautiful mind, and you have a beautiful mind, this abstract, make-believe world of what I want and what I don't want and what I like, what I don't like, what I believe in, and blah, blah, blah. And you have all these thoughts going on in there, and now your consciousness hangs out with those instead of learning from the beauty of the experiences that are unfolding. A normal human being does not see the experience that are unfolding as beautiful. Right? You're not going to get a lot of people that want to hear the truth. The truth is, you should be appreciating, worshiping, honoring, pranaming to every single moment that is given to you, the gift of God, the gift of creation. Here it is. You don't have to do anything. Here it is. But you can't. Why? Because you're not experiencing the moment purely. What you're doing is measuring the moment against what you want. Measuring the moment against what you don't want. You don't experience the moment. You experience your reaction to the moment. This is very deep. The moment happens, it doesn't come into you. It comes in and hits your mind. And your mind starts saying, that isn't what I wanted. I wanted red, not that red. It starts talking, doesn't it? And it starts comparing what you thought about versus what is unfolding. So it's not a pure experience. What if somebody came to kiss you? You're going to kiss somebody. You melt. You're gone. What if you're sitting there saying, well, I don't know, should I tilt my head a little bit at an angle? I don't know, is it too much pressure? That wouldn't be so much fun, would it? What's the difference between merging, melting, releasing into the beauty of the energy exchange of somebody you love and have an intimate moment like that versus letting your mind figure it out and judge about it and think about it and try to calculate any comparison? All right? That's what you're doing with life. That's what you're doing with life. It's unfolding in front of you. It is, to me, the kiss of God, right? Coming up, giving you a gift. Here. Here's a person. Here's this. Here's a situation. Just, wow, I want you to experience this, right? So this goes on. Instead of coming in and becoming one with it, accepting it, honoring it, experiencing it, becoming a greater being because of it, you are sitting there doing that mental thing about it. Do I like it? Do I not like it? I'd like some more. How do I keep it? Oh, I really did like it. Should I call him back right away? No, it'll be a little bit too far. Getting pretty neurotic, aren't we? Okay? And the answer is yes, we are totally neurotic. Compared to what clarity means, we are far gone. So that's what's in there. When I sit there and say spirituality is about emptying all of spirituality, I don't care what religion you are, I don't care what path you follow, I don't care what it is. All of spirituality is about that stuff out, extricating, untethering yourself from that garbage that you built inside your mind. Spirituality is what's left when you're in harmony with what's unfolding naturally. That's everything Lao Tzu talked about in the Tao. This path of complete non-resistance, the path of oneness, the path of non-duality. And that's the essence of all of the yogic scriptures too. So real spirituality happens when that personal part of you that you made up is gone. The part of you that you think is you. I like this, I don't like that. Why did she talk to me like that? I didn't see me talk to her. No, she talked to me like that. I can't believe it. It's so cute. Makes me laugh. All right? That thing in there that won't shut up. You got one? That thing in there that keeps saying, I, me, mine. Okay? And it's just basically saying, what do I like and what do I not like? And how do I get what I like and how do I avoid what I don't like? Can you relate to that? Your mind ever sitting there tell you what you like? And I'll bet you I know what should be happening, what you like. How much times does your mind tell you that should be happening, what you don't like? Never. It's wrong if you don't like it, and it's what should be happening if you do like it. And then it sits there and tells you what you like and what you don't like. I know the mind very well. I've studied it for a very long time in here, right? Its main theme, the personal mind, its main theme is what do I like and what do I not like? If you were to watch your thoughts, like you should, objectively watch your thoughts, and put a little scoreboard there, see what they're talking about, you only need 2 columns. What I like and what I don't like. It tries to figure out what will make me happy, what will make me sad, what do I like, is this going in a way that I like it, is this going in a way that I don't like it, and your entire thing, by the time you boil it down, it's both what I like and what I don't like, and then on top of that, how do I get what I like, how do I avoid what I don't like. What has that got to do with the moment unfolding in front of you? In the end, what you do is you look at the moment in front of you, and instead of seeing it as a teacher, as a gift, as an unbelievable interaction with the universe that's come to be present with you, you see it as something that will help you get what you want or hurt you from getting what you want. It becomes a battle, doesn't it? It becomes what I want against what's going on. And you're going to find out you have tension. And you know what you have? Fear. Fear that you won't get what you want and fear that you'll get what you don't want. Can you relate to that? Anybody have fear like that? You better say yes, all right? And you'll have worry that I won't get what I want or worry that I did something wrong and now I'm going to get what I don't want, et cetera, et cetera. It's all about the mind getting in the way and trying to figure out what do I want, what I don't want, how do I get it, how do I avoid it, instead of experiencing, imbibing, becoming one with the beauty and gift that's unfolding in front of you. That is the difference between a spiritual life and not a spiritual life. It's not about your beliefs. It's about what's going on inside of you. So what you'll find, and I hope you're already there, is that it's not comfortable to have that going on inside of you, ever. It's never comfortable. You're never comfortable. There'll be a couple of moments where it's better than other ones, but God forbid it be too good, then your mind will say, I don't want to mess this up. I always mess things up. So it's like people don't even know what it's supposed to be like in there. You know what it's supposed to be like in there? Beautiful. Beautiful. Take the highest moment you've ever had where just, oh my God, it's just, you don't even want to stop. It's just pure joy and love and beauty and light and woo. All right? I want that going on inside of you every single moment and nothing else going on inside of you except that. And I want it to be new so that every time it happens, it's higher than it was before and it will never stop being that way. There. That's what I want for you. And you know what? I know you're capable of that state. That is your natural state. When you don't have this stuff going on in there that's creating the melodrama, the commotion, how can you be okay if every moment you're out there saying, what do I want, what do I don't want? It'll just create so much bellyache and tension and ulcers that creates so much stress. You have to go out there and try to get everything in the world to be the way you want and not be the way you don't want. And you end up fighting all the time. And you're scared, and there's all kinds of stuff. They have all these weird emotions like jealousy. What is jealousy? I think I know what I want, but it looks like somebody else is getting it. I don't like that. All right? What's anger? I have this that I want and I can't make it happen. I'm frustrated. It's building up inside of me. I can't handle that I can't get what I want. And so it blows up inside. All of the negative human emotions, envy, jealousy, anger, insecurity. What's insecurity? I know what I want, but I'm afraid to do anything. I know I'll never get it. I always fail. And then what about egotism? I can get what I want. I'm better than everybody else. I know I can get what I want. It's just you end up fighting every moment of your life. You do not have to live like that. You are not supposed to live like that. You mean there's another way to get what I want? I can meditate on it and do mantras and attract to myself everything that I want? You came to the wrong place. It is about letting go at the root. And the root is this garbage you built inside your mind that makes you think that the only way you're going to be okay is if you get what you want and avoid what you don't want. So it's all about understanding that if you're struggling with life, you're doing something wrong. If you're disappointed by life, you're doing something wrong. Not that life is wrong. Don't do that. Don't sit there and say, when life is unfolding the way I want it to, it's right. And when life is unfolding the way I don't want it to, it's wrong. And then blame somebody and get all upset. You have to understand, you did this. You took a universe that's whole and complete, that's going on everywhere. And where you stand, you're making a drama out of it's not the way you want it to be. Of course it's not the way you want it to be. Why would it be? You just showed up yesterday. You sure just showed up in the spot where you're standing a moment ago. Why would it be the way you want it to be? Once more, do you get it? That moment in front of you took 13.8 billion years of everything being exactly the way it was for it to be the way it is. Your great-great-great-great-grandfather had to meet your great-great-great-great-grandmother, or you ain't here. Everything had to be exactly the way it was for it all to flow through time and space and end up in front of you. And you're sitting there expecting it to be the way you just made up. Why would it be that way? It's not going to be that way. What you're doing is violating all the laws of the universe, okay? There are reasons that things are the way they are. Not good or bad reasons, just reasons. They are the influences that made it be that way. And they have happened all through time and space. And they come together, they coalesce together to create the moment that's in front of you. But you have in your head something you made up 12 years ago about what you want to happen. I don't want it to rain today. I don't want it to rain today. I've set up for a vacation and I don't want it to rain on my vacation. Well, you got a bad case of the wants, because the rain ain't got nothing to do with what you want. And so if you set up what you like and dislike against reality, that's going to create a lot of tension. If you pit yourself against reality, you're going to lose. You're going to be afraid that things won't be the way you want, or that you'll lose what you do want. And it's going to create this tremendous, you know what tension's like? You ever feel it? It tightens up. It tightens up, doesn't it? All right? It's like you have a natural instinct inside of you, the fight and flight stuff, right? Survival. You are using that instinct because you're afraid the world won't match what you want. And now it's making you have fight and flight and adrenaline and all kinds of garbage that's knocking you completely out of balance. You can't live like this. It is not how you're supposed to be living. If the universe, God, creation, call it whatever you want, made this unbelievable place for you to live with flowers and trees and skies and things and planets and galaxies and water and rain and wind and snow and people and giraffes too. There's lots of things, aren't there? And you're just here and you're making a complete mess of it by saying, I don't want to experience what's being given to me. I want to experience what I made up. That's as simple as I can say it. And don't worry, everybody else is doing it too. That's the cause of all suffering. That's what suffering is. Suffering is different than pain. Pain is your nerves sending you a message because something didn't fit right. It wasn't good, right? Trying to wake you up, saying, oh, my leg hurts, right? Suffering is that you pit what you want against reality and you start suffering inside. It gets hot in there. It gets disturbing in there. Because resistance creates disturbance, and you are doing nothing but resisting everything. Why? Because you honestly believe it's supposed to be the way you want. It is not. It is supposed to be the way it is, at least for that moment. You can influence it going forward, right? But at least for the moment you're interacting with, you have to learn to appreciate it. You have to learn from it. Well, what do I do if something happens in the moment that's not comfortable? Learn how to experience something that's not comfortable. What if a tragedy takes place? Somebody dies or somebody leaves you or this happens or that happens. Yes, things happen. Lots of things happen. You understand that? At the same moment that this thing happened I just mentioned, 800 billion zillion other things are happening. They're just not happening right in front of you. So what do you do? You experience it. Nobody says you laugh because somebody you love died. Nobody says it's a joyful experience. It's a difficult experience. So if events happen in your life, and they do sometimes, not that often, but they do happen, which are very difficult to handle, they are going to cause human emotions. They will cause a sense of loss. They will cause a sense of tragedy and fear or whatever comes up. The question is not, are these happening? They do happen. The question is, can you learn from them? Can you handle them? Can you go through the experience and become a greater person because you had the experience? Or do you have to devote the rest of your life to making sure you never have another one? If you can handle the experience, learn from it, grow from it, you're not afraid of having another one because it was a growthful experience. My mother died. Your parents are going to die. Doesn't mean you don't feel sorrow. Doesn't mean you don't feel loss. When people ask me, what do I do with that sense of loss when someone dies? See it as though your heart is saying, I love you. It doesn't say it when somebody you don't know dies or somebody you don't care about dies. That pain, that sense of loss is another way for the human heart to say, I love you. I love you. Well, there's nothing wrong with loving somebody. See it as a beautiful experience, a sense of loss. You don't laugh. It's not that kind of experience, but it's beautiful. Music. Not every piece of music is ode to joy or the rites of spring, is it? So life plays you music. Life gives you different experiences. The universe went through a lot of trouble to create all these varied experiences for you. So when you have them, yes, they can be difficult. Yes, they can be painful. When you can go through a difficult experience, you become stronger. You become healthier. You become wholer. Now when another person has a death or something, you are more capable of helping them. If you've gone through a difficult experience, you went through a divorce, you went through something like this, let's say you're the only person in the whole town that ever got divorced. You don't even know anyone who ever got divorced. That's lonely. Then all of a sudden there's somebody who shows up. They've been through the painful experience of a divorce. Well, they can help you, can't they? You can feel some solace and they can feel I'm not alone. So when you have gone through experiences, not only do you become greater, but you become a gift to everybody else. Now, if you didn't make it through it, if you let it scar you, if you're the person who said, no, I'll never love again, I have nothing to do with anybody, dump me, right, and just closed down and got yourself all scarred up, now not only did you not learn from the experience, you got hurt, you got brought down, but now you're no help to anybody. Do you hear me? But if you can experience the experiences that life is giving you, not the ones you want, and not running away from ones you don't want, the openness, clarity of being present in the moment, allowing the experience, you have no choice, they're going to come in anyways. I said allowing the experience to come in. It's going to come in. The only place you do it, once it already came in, you suppress it. You understand that? You can't, you wish you could suppress it outside. I told you, once it's in there, it already happened. Do you understand that? The light already bounced off and came in through your senses. You can't make that not happen. But I cannot feel it. Yeah, you can go mess with it inside and make a mess. Does anybody understand that difference I just painted? No event that ever happened can you make not happen. It already happened. But if it comes into you, you can try and not experience it, can't you? You can try and measure it against what you like, and it's not fair. It's not fair. It's got nothing to do with fair. It's got nothing to do with right and wrong. It's got nothing to do with any of that stuff. What he calls right, she calls wrong. Because they had different experiences, therefore you made up different stuff inside. So you finally come down to realize if you're going to keep doing this, you're not going to be okay. Not just not spiritually. You're not going to be okay physically, emotionally, or mentally, all right? That's why we're all such a mess. Because you are pitting these things you made up in your mind, based on your past experiences, against the reality that's unfolding in front of you that has nothing to do with your past experiences. It has to do with the influences that are making it be the way it is. And you're just making this stuff up. So your entire spiritual path, I don't care if you ever looked at it this way, please do, is you have to cease doing that. Cease and desist. I'm going to give you a cease and desist order, right? You are to cease and desist, making up garbage inside your mind and then expecting the world to be that way and getting upset when it's not that way. You do it with everything. You get in a relationship, Relationships are so easy, I don't even understand. You're one way, he or she is another way. Isn't that fun? But I don't know what he's going to do next. Isn't that fun? Of course you don't know what he's going to do next. He had 20, 30 years before you met him. You got a lot of stuff going on in there. Of course you have no idea what's going to show up next, do you? That has to be fun. That has to be exciting. It's a grab bag every moment, all right? But that's not what you want out of a relationship. What you want out of a relationship is, I'm in here, I'm not okay. So I made up how things need to be outside, meaning you need to be outside, so that I feel better and don't feel worse. Get with the program. That's what you call a relationship. It's like, that's ridiculous. You get to a point where you realize a real relationship is, I am whole enough within myself that I can accept reality. I don't live with a whole lot of people. There's only one other person in my house. So this person is reality to me the way they are. I'm going to use this relationship to be sure that I'm able to handle things that are different than me. Not that it should become the same as me. I'm not even going to tell you what I think I want, because I don't want what I want. If you ask me, if you tell me you love me, how do you want me to be? I wouldn't even begin to answer that question. Because the part of me that would answer it, I don't want. Therefore, I sure as heck don't want you being that way, because that's just going to reinforce. I told you, if a kid's throwing a tantrum in a store, don't ask him, what did you want, sweetheart? What color? What, are you crazy? You ain't getting the kid what he wants, are you? The more you love the kid, the more you will not get him what he wants, right or wrong, if he's literally throwing a tantrum in the middle of the store, because all it does is reinforce the pattern. So it's the same thing with you. If he's throwing a tantrum in there, I want somebody who loves me and is always there with me and goes to lunch with me all the time and does the thing. But there's just enough space when I need it. And knows how to know when I need the space. I shouldn't have to tell them. They should know when I want to be close, and they should know when I need the space. You run from that person. Do you understand that? You just run as fast as your legs will take you. Don't be like that. Just sit there and realize we are different. I've had my experiences, therefore I made up my stuff. You've had your experience, you made up your stuff. They're totally different. Doesn't mean we can't love each other. Doesn't mean we can't live together. Doesn't mean we have a beautiful, beautiful, exciting relationship as you be you and I be me. And we learn that each part of us that is not the way the other person expects helps us get rid of ourselves. That's what you have to be in a relationship for. Not making the person match what you want. But because you love that person, you're willing to let go of yourself. That's a relationship. Not because you love them, they should be the way you want them to be. But because you love them, you're willing to let go of the part of you that has trouble honoring and respecting how they are. I'm setting a high bar for you. This is what it means to live a spiritual life. That is a spiritual relationship. Not, I found my soulmate. He believes exactly what I believe, and he likes doing exactly what I like doing, the same kind of sadhana, the same kind of everything, and he believes exactly what I believe about God, right? He's exactly the same. That's not your soulmate. It means you won't change. It means you're going to reinforce each other with this garbage you have going inside. Instead, a spiritual relationship is, I love this person. And sometimes there's just love that attracts and happens between people. And because I love them, I'm willing to give of myself. I'm willing to let go of myself. I'm willing to take parts of my being that I thought were really, really important, right? I always wanted to live up north and have a Cape Cod home. And I'd never been there. But since I was 12, I saw a movie. It made me think I want to go there, right? And so you're in love with this person. And they say, no, I have a job. I can't move to Cape Cod. And you look inside and someone goes, like that. This can't be my soulmate. He doesn't want to go to Cape Cod. And you look at it and you ask yourself a simple question. Do I love this person more than I love that part of me that has always been giving me trouble? I never was comfortable where I was because I was waiting to move to Cape Cod for 30 years. Hear me? Do I love the person more, or am I more committed to this part of me? Real love says, I'm willing to let go of myself, to give of myself. It's my honor. It's just a constant letting go of yourself. That's what a relationship with another human being is, and that's what your relationship with life is. Yogananda said, perfect your relationship with one person, and then let that perfection spread out to include all. I'm going further than that. I'm not saying all people. Life. Life. Be in love with life. Be in love with life the way I just talked about being in love with a person, to where you say to the moment that's unfolding in front of you, you are the representative of God, of life, that is standing in front of me. And wherever I look, there he is. But that's the part that's in front of me. This is the day the Lord hath made. So that is the moment that is sitting in front of me. I love it more than I love myself. So any part of me that it stirs up, that I'm not comfortable with, that causes me trouble, I am willing and committed to letting it go so I can get closer to life. That's how a great being lives. They are in love with life. They are in love with God. They are in love with reality more than they are in love with their garbage that they built up inside themselves of what they want and what they don't want. Because of that, every moment you become emptier. Every moment you let go of a part of you. You just keep letting it go. Why? Because I love life. I can call it God or life. I don't care. Right? Some will be comfortable with God. Some will be comfortable with life. Fine. Same. It's called not me. Not me. It's something other than me. I am in love with the amazingness of creation, and I am willing to let go of this garbage that I made up inside my head as if I know how things are supposed to be. Who am I? Wow, that's weird. All right? That's ego. That it actually stands there and says, I get to make up how the universe is supposed to be. The trouble is there's 7 billion of you on the planet, and they're all saying that. Oh, that's kind of weird. Maybe there'll be some wars. Maybe there'll be some disharmony. So don't sit there and wonder why it's such a mess. That's why it's such a mess. Not because of this or that or this person or that person. Or it's because there are 7 billion people on this planet, and every single one of them had different experiences. Therefore, every one of them has a different idea of how things should be. And they all believe they're right, just like you believe you're right. They all believe they're right. Who's willing to honor and respect that, understand that? So to break this cycle of absurdity of how we live, you have to be willing to let go of yourself. You have to prove that a human being is greater than that garbage they made up in their head. How do you do that? The moment unfolds in front of you, it causes some disturbance inside of you. Sometimes it does that, doesn't it? All right? Why did it cause disturbance? The moment's not disturbed. It had no problem being the way it is. All right? It is the full result of all the force that made it be that way. It's the blossoming of the flower of creation, isn't it? All right? You had trouble because it didn't match what you wanted. What if it did match what you wanted? Ooh, then I'd like it. All right? You're doing this. And so you use every moment to let go of yourself. That's how you go back to where I started. The empty bed. You empty yourself. Spirituality is about letting go of yourself. It's about dying to be reborn. It is about emptying oneself. And so basically, as you empty this stuff, I think we made it pretty clear what it is you're full of. It's just made up things. You just made up what you like and do. What do you think? Where'd you get what you like or dislike? You made it up. It's just you had past experiences. Come on, let's get it over with. Where did you get your likes and dislikes? You had past experiences. Some of them felt good. You had past experiences. Some of them felt bad. I guarantee you the ones that felt good are your likes, and the ones that felt bad are your dislikes. They are learned experiences based upon how you took what was unfolding in front of you. One person got divorced. It was the finest thing that ever happened to them. Their life blossomed. They met somebody unbelievable. Now divorces aren't so bad. They're good things. Sometimes you get divorced. Another person got divorced. They couldn't handle it. It ruined their life. They never ever met somebody again. They're bitter and angry. Ooh, divorces. Catholics are right. Nobody should ever get divorced. Do you understand that? And it's that way with everything. Your past experiences programmed what you like and what you don't like. There is nothing holy about them. If you look to the right, you'd have a different experience. You'd like a different thing. That's, to me, when it gets embarrassing. If I had just looked to the right when something was going on so I didn't experience it, and it didn't leave that impression on me of like or dislike, then I'd be totally different. That's too random for me. There's no way I'm living my life that way. How about you? So instead, you use life to let go of yourself. You just keep letting go of yourself. Keep letting go of yourself. And as you let go of yourself, life stops bothering you as much. Why? Because there's not as much in there resisting and demanding that it be exactly the way you need it to be. If nothing else, you become a little bit more open. The weather doesn't have to be between 68 and 72. We can handle 60 to 80. All of a sudden, a lot more nice days. The humidity doesn't have to be below 40. It can get up to 60 or 70%. The broader your base is, the more you can experience what's going on. So you want to broaden this area that you're comfortable with. You don't do that by making the world be that way. You do that by letting go of the part of you that can't handle reality. That's all I'm asking you to do. By the way, that's the most spiritual thing you could ever do. Let's make it very simple. No God. Let go of the part of you that can't handle reality. Now let's say it another way. Not my will, but thy will. Is that not the same thing? Okay, isn't that beautiful? So you can say it spiritually, devotionally, or you can say it scientifically. The point is, the reality is unfolding. Can you handle it? So basically, you learn to relax and release, relax and release, relax. Then what will happen is you'll become emptier. And as you become emptier, more stuff fits. And as more stuff fits, it's more comfortable. And because it's more comfortable, you want to let go of more. And you go on an upward spiral instead of a downward. And all of a sudden, you can handle anything. And I mean anything. Imagine if you woke up in the morning, you realized, no matter what happens today, I will be fine. And I mean no matter what, I will be fine. Does it mean your heart won't hurt? No, but I'm comfortable with my heart hurting. Does it mean your mind might get weird about something somebody said? I've been there, done that. I've seen that plenty of times. It's funny. Learn to play in there. And once you can play and you're open, you'll see that all of a sudden this joy starts to fill the emptiness you created. It's not that it stays empty. It's that because it's empty, it can get filled with something else. Right now it's full of your garbage. As it empties, it starts to get filled with spirit. And that's what happens. You must die to be reborn. As you empty, God flows in, spirit flows in, and you start to feel joy and lightness and ecstasy and love. And life becomes a beautiful, beautiful experience for you and everybody around you, by the way. You spread that light. That's what spirituality is. Become empty. Empty. Empty yourself. Empty yourself. You'll become full. All right? Hope you understand these things because I care about you. This is how to have a beautiful life. All right. Work on these things. Jagrata.